496-5555. Jacksonville.
Second down, 13. At the 45 of Baltimore. Brunell back in the pocket. Has a bit of time now being chased. Plants throws. He's looking downfield. He's got a receiver. And it is caught. Jimmy Smith at the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Wayne starts for 45 yards.
Barks out for Positional. Drops to throw. Has time. Fires the slant. Jimmy's got it this time. 35, 30. Middle of the field. 20. He's going to the 20-yard line. He's going to score. 10, 5. Jimmy Smith. Touchdown. And the Jaguars are right back in this ball game. Barks out the signals. Pressure coming. Steps up. Steps. Turns. Throws. He's got Jimmy. First down. 20. There he goes. 10, 5. Touchdown. Win. Jacksonville. Done under pressure. Steps to avoid. Turns and throws. He's got him in. Caught Jimmy inside the 40-yard line to the 37 and down to the 36.
Congratulations to Jimmy Smith. That is now his 800th career reception, and what a play to get it on.
This team winning right now, it helps bring so much attention to our franchise, what we did back in the day, like we were talking about, these Hall of Fame conversations. But when we're winning, we see the conversations pick up. So we have noticed that. So obviously, I'm pulling for my team to get to this Super Bowl.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome in on this Wednesday. Beautiful time of year for Jaguar football as they get ready to head out to the desert of Las Vegas. And apparently a lot of you Jaguar fans are going to make the trip as well. I don't know what that number is, Tony, but there seems to be quite a bit of excitement. And it's a good place to go in winter time.
I'm not sure when the ladies of Helmets and Heels are heading that way, but I know they're heading out.
Well, they're doing the show there Friday, right?
Yeah.
So they got to be going at least by Thursday. I would say they're traveling Thursday probably because they're not on Thursday.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess. So enjoy Helmets and Heels today, as you always do. And they're going to be out at the Circa Resort or something or other. Like
one of those resorts.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, at this point, if you don't know where they're going to be, that means you're not probably planning on being there, right? I know Circa has a big part of it. They run the big, what do you call it? The Survivor contest out there. Like the big money one where people put in and every week you pick one team that's going to win in advance. And
you can't use them again.
Right. And it is like millions of dollars to the winner. I don't know it might be a $10,000 entry, something like that.
Yeah.
But I heard some guys talking about it driving around like a week ago because we carry VSiN when we don't have local programming on, the Vegas Sports and Information Network. And they're talking about, how one guy had bought into, like they have different little groups that get together and then they'll sell a stake in their share depending on where they get to at what point in the season. And there were less than 100 teams left in it, something like that. And I think every team that had Detroit available to them. They're talking about this right before Thanksgiving. That's what it was. Every team that had Detroit took Detroit that week. Every team that had Kansas City left that didn't have Detroit took KC on Black Friday. They both survived. KC almost didn't. It's all fair game out there in Vegas. So Dylan was talking about, what did you watch yesterday that you said basically the end of Western civilization is near with sports gambling there?
Oh, it was some political show I'll watch on YouTube. They were talking about what the future of sports gambling is going to be and how bad it is for us young kids and stuff like that. I'm like,
well, it's bad for anybody if it's done excessively, right? I mean, but so is drinking alcohol and lots of other things.
Drugs.
But certain things in, legal things in moderation are fine. You go excessive overboard with it.
Can we go back to when the lottery first came out? Like, was that a big deal for like gambling purpose? Like, were people like scared that you were going to lose all your money for like scratch offs and stuff like that?
Maybe. I don't know, man. We didn't have the internet, so it wasn't like you knew what everybody thought about any subject, no matter how inconsequential. It was kind of nice at that time. I do remember, this had to be high school, I guess, when the Florida lottery kicked in.
I'm just looking, 1988.
All right, college then.
Yeah.
But I knew I was still living in DeLand, where I went to high school, and I'd come back in college, and that's where I'd live in between semesters with my mom and dad. And I do remember that the first drawing for the Florida Lotto, somebody in Deltona, which is, one over from DeLand, west, drew numbers out of a paper bag and hit 5 out of 6 and was one number off on the last number, drawn them out of a paper bag, and they won like $10,000 or $12,000 on that. I thought, wow, that's a lot of money.
Back then too, sheesh.
and I mean, $10,000 or $12,000 would still be a lot of money. I'd love to win $10,000.
Yeah, I'm looking. Powerball started in 1992.
Okay.
But in 1988, the Florida Lotto officially opened up. During the first 12 days of operation, $95 million in scratch-off tickets were sold.
Okay.
Yeah.
I doubt,
Which statewide, that's a lot of people, but still, 1988, that's a while ago.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm
it's
sure
a lot of money for the Lotto.
I'm sure there are people that spend every one of their last dollars, the spare dollars, on the Lotto. I can't.
Every Friday afternoon, baby.
Yeah, that's you?
No, I see people doing that Friday afternoon. They walk in, they're like, all right, let me get number 2.
Coach Denmark in line again?
Yeah.
No.
You got your printed out card. You've got your lucky numbers on there. I don't know, man.
I got a friend who every year at Christmas he goes and buys 25 $1 scratch offs, and his plan with it, maybe if he hits big on one of them, he would take the money. But if he doesn't, he just goes and buys more $1 scratch offs until he's out of money, right? Like he's like the typical going to play blackjack in Vegas guy. If I lose the $300 that I planned on losing, that's okay.
Sure.
One of those kind of things. But he does it every year at Christmas.
How much? $300 worth?
He just does $25.
Oh, $25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he gets 25 single tickets.
What's the most you ever won on a scratch off? You don't seem like a scratch off player.
No, I've never bought myself a scratch off.
No?
No.
Same.
Never bought a scratch off?
Not for myself, no.
Okay, I've won $50 on a scratch off a couple of times, probably.
There was one time my buddy's dad, he bought 2 Lotto tickets, gave one to me and gave one to someone else. And I wanted one of them. And he gave me the other one, and the other one got like $100, and I got nothing.
And at the time, about $100 was...
Oh, I was a teen. I was not even 16, 17 years old. That was life-changing.
Yeah, it was
I
totally
could have gotten
life-changing.
like 10 Chick-fil-A's and,
and a whole new
back in
tax
that economy.
Right now.
No.
My high school friend won $50,000 on a scratch off.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he didn't need it. Like that was out of all your high school friends who
yeah.
didn't need it, he didn't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like his family. He came from a relatively well-off family and all that, and here he is, like a sophomore in college, buying a house, and we're like, you son of a. Anyway, so how do we get on this? I have no idea.
Vegas,
baby. There you go. See, it all comes full circle on Jaguars Today. So heading out to Vegas, want to get a look at some of these young guys. Obviously, Brian Thomas is starring this season for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but need some help, need some reinforcements on this team. So I went back to the polls that we did last week, Tony, where we did, biggest projecting toward the end of the season, biggest offensive need, biggest defensive need heading into the offseason. And based on the results that we got defensively, you said defensive tackle and corner were the top 2 needs. Safety also got some significant votes. On offense, it was guard was the runaway, and center was second. So I lumped it into interior offensive line for today, and it can be either one of those spots. And we're going to ask you today, based on those polls that we ran, and you telling us you felt like these are the biggest needs of the Jaguars on the field. Get what I'm saying? Hashtag fire whomever. So if the Jaguars could add a Pro Bowl level player, note I say Pro Bowl level player, you're not always going to make the Pro Bowl in Jacksonville. I do think there is a teal ceiling, so to speak, right? Like once you break through it, it's a different story, but that's true for anybody. Once you get into the Pro Bowl, you're looked at as, quote, a Pro Bowler, right? And people just assume you're this level player. But coming from this market, I think it is tougher to break through and become that guy. So we asked you if the Jags could add a Pro Bowl level player, even if they don't get recognized as such, at one of these positions, which one would you choose? Corner, defensive tackle, either of the interior offensive line spots, guard or center, or safety. And so that's your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. And it's interesting because the early returns lean heavily in favor of defensive tackle. They don't have 50% of the vote, but they've got the largest plurality of the vote here. I would imagine if we ran a poll, and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe we'll do this tomorrow. If you ran a poll and said the Jags had their choice of any non-quarterback in the draft, which of these guys would you want to take? Travis Hunter being among them, I would think Travis Hunter would run away with the poll. Now, you could also argue that people will say, well, I think Travis Hunter is definitely going to be a Pro Bowl level player. Mm-hmm. Maybe Mason Graham will be the defensive tackle out of Michigan. Maybe he won't be. I don't know. Right? So I get it. It's not an apples to apples comparison necessarily, but I think there's no one single player that Jag fans covet more than Travis Hunter. But it is interesting that the early returns today indicate that they don't feel like that's the biggest position of need, or at least not the one that they would like to add most a Pro Bowl level talent to this football team. And some of it is, you may look at it and go, well, I can squint my eyes and see Tyson Campbell and Monteric Brown and Jarian Jones as our top three guys again next year. And we'll see what happens with DeAndre Prince coming along, and we'll add a couple of more. Maybe a veteran, maybe a rookie, whatever the case may be. Right. And that is something that you can go to battle with more easily than what you've got presently constituted at these other positions.
Right. And look, we'll obviously be talking about all this stuff a lot over the course of the next few months.
You think?
But basically the entire national conversation in this regard has been about Travis Hunter, which is why it would make sense that a bunch of Jaguars fans would know a lot about Travis Hunter and not much about the other guys at these positions we're talking about here. I mean, how many fans really know what's going on with Abdul Carter, right? He may be the best edge in this draft, but how many – has anyone talked about him? Mike, we were just talking about this before the show today. Pockets, I think, will know – sorry.
Coach. Oh, what?
Coach will
That's
know
a quarter
the
at least
question.
in the swear jar.
Do the college football playoffs start this week?
Yeah, Friday night's the first game.
Friday night? Really? All right.
Night, and then there's 3 on Saturday.
See, I thought I would be the only one here in this, because I heard somebody on the station yesterday mention SMU. And I don't even know it was in the context of maybe they have a chance to win this game. They're playing Penn State.
Saturday. Yes, they're playing Saturday at noon.
Only reason I know this is because I, who have less college football knowledge than many at the station, was asked to fill out a bracket. A playoff bracket.
That's funny.
For to be posted out there publicly, and I picked SMU to win because why not? What's
pulling for the underdog?
You know, I didn't buy $50 worth of scratch off entries into this contest. It's just here's what I think's going to happen.
Sure.
And boy, I think I picked Oregon over Georgia. What a neck reaching out position to
favorite
take.
to win. That's.
I mean, who do you think's going to win?
No, I'd probably say Oregon.
All right, well there you go. Right? They're the favorite for a reason, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be the best team. That doesn't guarantee anything, but so be it.
It'll be nice for the Big Ten to win one.
Like Utah, I'm like, oh yeah, is that start this week or is that next? I have no idea when that starts, and apparently it is this week.
Yeah,
I can tell you that there's an NFL doubleheader coming up on Saturday.
Yeah,
and I will be watching that now. I got a show Friday night, but I'll probably throw on the college football game in the background, because why not? What else am I going to have on in the background?
It's going to be cold up there in Indiana, boy.
Oh, is that who's playing Friday?
Notre Dame in Indiana.
Is that I guess Notre Dame would draw an audience pretty much any time.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they're trying to bury the Hoosiers in the least attractive slot.
Apparently, it was last week or 2 weeks ago. It was the most expensive ticket. Like, it was over $1,000 to get in because they haven't played since '91.
Right. Oh, I don't doubt that. But that's all those people who are willing to pay $1,000 are going to be in that stadium.
And it's a short trip,
right?
Like Indiana to Notre Dame's a short trip. If there are a bunch of Indiana fans, they've never seen them do this kind of thing before. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, I'm just thinking though, for TV purposes, like. You're more likely to go, well,
Friday night's not the hot TV
right,
night.
I can go out Friday or Saturday. I'll go out Friday, and then I'll sit and lock into the triple header on Saturday.
Yeah, there's a reason Tennessee, Ohio State, I'm looking at the schedule now, is the Saturday at 8.
Yeah, that's the game everybody wants to see.
Yeah.
Probably people are thinking I have no idea when the playoff is because Florida State's not in it. That is true. Quite frankly, if Florida State was in it, I'd at least know when they played.
Yeah.
But that's my level of interest. My level of interest right now in college football is who can we poach to make the Jaguars better, right, from these various teams. So go out there, perform, don't get hurt until we decide if we're going to draft you or not. And then do whatever you're going to do at that point in time. Not wishing you ill, but I really don't care if you're not trying to help the boys in teal. All right, when we return in a moment, we're going to hear a little bit from Doug Peterson focusing in on some young players, an effort to get them going down the stretch here. Doug's going to talk in about 10 minutes, I think. So anything new coming out of that, we will pass along to you. John Oehser from Jaguars.com will join us in the second hour today, and we're off and rolling. If you want to be a part of the program, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosure, same number there as well. So hit us up that way or on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
That's Coach Denmark to you, okay? So, again, Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. If the Jags could add a Pro Bowl level player at one of these positions, which one would you choose? Cornerback, defensive tackle, interior offensive line, or safety? Let us know through the various outlets, including the YouTube virtual studio chat. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Get the coach's perspective.
Constant improvement, every day, every week.
Doug Peterson joins the Frangie Show Fridays at 4:05.
This group is eager to win.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
AA Automotive helps keep your car in dependable travel condition. Stop in today. They'll check the brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and AC to get you right back to your holiday plans. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Full service auto repair you can count on.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Teal and Black looked to attack early versus the Jets, and Mac Jones, along with the Young Guns, answered the call to strike first in the ball game. Thanks to a 13-play series capped off by a Brian Thomas Jr. 3-yard score, Jacksonville would take an early 7-0 lead with 8:37 left in the first. The 70-yard drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey, John, I think everyone in Jacksonville is ready to elevate their ride.
Absolutely. At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, we have stunning 2024 Escalades and Lyrics in stock right now.
And the great news is you can get a $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Don't wait for the 2025 models to come in.
Luxury is just a visit away. Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Not available with some other offers. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/24 plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resistol on approved credit.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Frank Frangie here for Karis Wealth Planning. If you're looking for a company to truly help you make your money work for you, why not try a group who's been doing it successfully for almost a quarter of a century? Karis will truly bring together all the pieces of your financial world and develop a comprehensive plan to really help you secure your future. So call Karis today at 904-598-3585 or log on to Karis, that's KERAS.nm.com. Make your money work for you with Karis Wealth Planning.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but also incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744. Hey, and if you mention Mia or Helmets and Heels, you'll qualify for free base molding. Call today or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Follow the Canes as they storm the ACC.
I'm 1010XL's JJ LaSelva, and every week I'll bring you the Miami news and notes you need to know.
The Performance Painting Hurricane Report on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Dailies Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Dailies is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Bold City AC, heating that rules. Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options. Bold City AC, we got the crew. Bold City AC. Visit boldcityac.com.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hey, I'm Ben Kay, owner of Gotham City Limit, your local comic shop. Here to let you know we're doing 20% off the entire store, now through Christmas. So unleash your gift-giving spirit, let your passion transmit. Do what we do and take it to the limit. Visit GothamCityLimit.com for more information.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Yeah, if you get an opportunity, you're still trying to go out and compete to win the game, right? So, but if you get a chance to play one of your young players, and it's a good time to do it, then we'll do it.
That's Doug Peterson on Monday talking about, down the stretch, you're not in playoff contention. Do you broaden your horizons, looking to get younger players more opportunities here? Well, you're still trying to win a game, right? I get that to some degree, but, Tony, how did Ronald Darby go from 81% of the snaps in Week 13 to 27 in Week 14 to 0% this week?
Oh.
Were you trying to win games up to that point? I mean, as soon as you got eliminated from playoff contention, you benched Darby. And I'm not saying that doesn't help you win more games, but then where was that thought process along the way? You just now determined that Monteric Brown would be a better option, or you're trying to play the younger guy, or what exactly? I'm not quite sure. But and by the way, I'm not opposed to Ronald Darby not playing at the expense of Monteric Brown and or Jarian Jones. I'm 100% on board with that.
Very much like it's clearly both of those things, but how much of either I do not know, right? Because Darby just hadn't been helping him on the field much. So could there be room for Monteric Brown's been playing better, so we need to get him more looks? I think so.
I just feel like that's been the case for quite a while, though.
Sure. I don't know why it would take this long to get to it.
Right. And so,
but that wouldn't be the only spot we've been asking, why is it taking so long to get to
but that's part of the whole evaluation process of, do we need new eyes and decision makers here on evaluating what you've got? Because Ronald Darby, I mean, he's had his moments this season. He's probably made some good plays. He had that breakup when Andre Sisco let the deep ball go down the middle. Right, Darby actually saved that play.
He did.
Right, and he got in there late. But I'm not saying Ronald Darby's been good. In fact, it's been diminishing. He had a great training camp. He was all over the place in training camp, which, again, goes to show you can't learn much of anything by watching training camp or the preseason. Jags were undefeated in the preseason last I heard.
They were.
Anyway, like at what point did you decide that Monteric Brown was better than Ronald Darby or deserved all the snaps that he was getting plus the ones that Darby was getting? And it seemed to coincide right when you got eliminated. So
sure,
it's okay to say, hey, if it's close, we need to get a look at the guy, even if he's not ready to be a star. Yes, we're trying to win games, but what's more important, a win or two down the stretch, or if you get the chance to develop a couple of young players that may be able to hit the ground running next year because of the experience they got in the final month of the season? I'm not saying that you can just snap your fingers and go, well, if I play DeAndre Prince for, 50% of the snaps, or making up a number here, for the last 3 games, it's going to guarantee X. But it's really the only way ultimately you find out what you have. How many times have you heard guys are gamers, right? They're not great practice players. Sure. And they get the opportunity and they show up and make plays on Sunday afternoon or whatever the case may be. By the way, Jarrian Jones played 84% of the snaps. They're basically nickel the whole game this week against the Jets, and didn't really help.
Like, I think that kind of phenomenon, whatever it is in football where it happens, that gamer thing, I think to at least some degree that has to be part of the explanation for why Walker Little hadn't been on the field any more than he has been, the last 4 years. Because for whatever reason, he can't win a head-to-head contest with the guys that he has a head-to-head contest with. But every time he plays, it's like they don't lose a thing.
They don't lose a thing. Sometimes they seem to gain.
Right. With him on the field as the left tackle, they're fine. With Walker Little in that position, but he wasn't doing whatever it was they needed to see behind what happened on the field on Sundays for them to say, yeah, that's our guy. I don't know why he gets put into that position and 2 weeks later they're like, let's get the extension done. Like, I don't know why it would be that quick on that kind of decision from the franchise. And we talked about it when they got it done. I have no issue with them making that kind of contract for Walker Little. And, it doesn't close the door on looking at other tackles at some point. It's not that long of a deal where you're not going to be looking. And if they were in the draft this year in the first round and they thought an offensive tackle was the best value they could get at that spot, okay. And if he plays guard for a year or two, whatever that happens to look like, I don't think it means they can't draft an offensive tackle even in the first round of this year's draft. But there is something that goes on with a guy like Walker Little. He plays fine. In fact, he's been playing really well for the last 3 weeks since he got that contract and became the starter for this football team. He's been really good at that left tackle spot for him. Why couldn't he win that job 2 years ago? No answer for that.
Yeah, I don't know. This from Russell in the YouTube chat. He said, the politics Trent Baalke played with Darby and Armstead instead of having the better player on the field is enough for me to fire him. Here's the issue. If Trent Baalke has that power, that's on the owner.
Yeah.
The GM should not – look, if you have final say on the roster, fine. I can't control who you cut, who you sign. But who's active on game day and who's actually playing on my team, that's the head coach's purview.
Yes.
So if they allow that to happen, that's a sign of greater dysfunction. Now, you may just be projecting that it's Baalke doing this. We don't know. Maybe it's what Ryan Nielsen thought was the best plan of attack, which is not exactly a feather in his cap, but you get the idea. I'm not for the general manager passing down playing time edicts.
He's not a coach.
No. And no matter how often he likes to spend time on the practice field, doesn't matter as far as I'm concerned. And great. I get it organizationally, but organizationally, if that were the case, why was Mason Smith ever a game day inactive? Why is Jordan Jefferson, that if you're Trent Baalke, why wouldn't you be saying, no, all my picks are going to be active, right? If you really had that level of control over the situation. And who knows? I don't know, man. It's dysfunctional enough. I believe almost anything. But I'm not going to take it as gospel one way or the other.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's take a time out. Let's come back. Let's hear a little bit more from Doug Peterson on some happier fronts, including Brian Thomas Jr. and his growth, Brenton Strange, and how he has performed, particularly now in the absence of Evan Ingram. But also, what you're going to ask of your team in these final 3 weeks of the season, other than just show up and try to play hard. All right, we'll get to all that coming your way. John Oehser in hour number 2, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines if you want to get in. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Every time of day is a good time for Dandy. Swing into an area gate station, maybe fill up the tank, but definitely head to the fresh case with an eye on filling up your belly with great breakfast items. They've got light lunchtime wraps, gourmet salads, protein packs, fruit cups, veggie trays, you name it. Oh, yeah, sandwiches and subs. Got a full line of those as well. Recipes that they've been tinkering with and perfecting for over 70 years on the job as a Jacksonville-based company. The Thompson family started Dandy nearly 7 decades ago, and they've been thriving here on the First Coast because they deliver quality food with great variety made with the highest quality ingredients. They locally source those ingredients as often as possible, deliver them fresh daily around the First Coast, and keep the prices in check as well. Go find out your own Dandy favorite. Mine's the tuna salad. We can share, though. There's plenty for everybody. When you're hungry in Duval, Dandy's the name to know. So do what I do when you are. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Florida's weather is unpredictable. Don't let the Epic Chill catch you off guard. For reliable heating services, call Epic Cool Heating and Air. Keep your home cozy all season long. Call 904-859-EPIC, 904-859-3742.
Has your email been hacked? Are you sure? Most breaches go unnoticed until it's too late. Don't risk your business. DoubleCheck Cybersecurity can protect you before disaster strikes. Visit doublecheck.com for your no-cost risk assessment today.
Human trafficking destroys lives. You could do something to create hope this season. Make an end-of-the-year donation to Rethreaded. Your gift helps provide employment and support services for local survivors of human trafficking. Visit rethreaded.com and click on the tab to donate.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
On Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This holiday season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. With the purchase of a $75 gift card or more, guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes the perfect gift. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
There's still time to grab a mouth-watering holiday roast at Southern Steer Butcher in Ortega. Come for the roast and leave a hero with last-minute gift cards for the whole fam.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web. Precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Now, any good lineup needs power. When I needed a power connection for our new Walk-Off Charities baseball park, I found the perfect partner in Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys, I'm telling you. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. So call my buddy Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960, and you can find them on Facebook as well. You will trust them. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 320-5960.
Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Anderson, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. The first 50 customers get a free True Screen upgrade, but this offer expires December 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
Need a piece of jewelry that won't break your wallet? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has tons of reconditioned jewelry, always inspected by their jeweler. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
Windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Hey, Icken here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, man. Run your game.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson on the situation with quarterback Mac Jones as a backup quarterback auditioning for his future.
He knows his situation, from a career standpoint too. Not only helping us win right now, but I think too he's obviously auditioning for maybe a potential spot down the road for maybe another team, right? Something like that. So he knows, he continues to improve, he continues to get better, and it's good. And it's good to see him do that.
The Jacksonville native and bowl school product will lead the Jags into Vegas on Sunday against the Raiders with kickoff at 4:25. With your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update, I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Dougie P is off and rolling this morning, and if anything pertinent comes down the line, Dylan will alert us, and we will then alert you. I think I said done. We'll then alert you. It's week 16. All right, this one on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, in terms of today's question. If you could add a Pro Bowl level player at one of these positions, cornerback, defensive tackle, interior offensive line. I know that's multiple positions, but you can pick guard or center or safety. The respondent here says, I said defensive tackle, but Travis Hunter is a wildly different animal. Hunter is giving you so much more than just corner. Like if Mason Graham could play defensive tackle and also be our backup guard, that would be similar. Depends on how NFL teams are going to utilize him.
Yeah.
Potentially, yes. You're right about that, right? But that's not specific. And again, Travis Hunter you may look at as a Pro Bowl cornerback or a Pro Bowl level cornerback plus, and that's fine, right? He may be in his own category, but, we're looking at just the overall positional value and based on the Jags' needs. I heard Jeff and Dan discussing this morning. Jeff's position was, you should never take an offensive tackle in the top 10 because an offensive tackle is never the best player on a Super Bowl champion. Okay. Sure. But, when is a corner the best player in a Super Bowl champion?
Right.
Defensive tackle, I remember Aaron Donald being the best player on a Super Bowl champ.
Sure.
Fairly recently.
Yeah.
Generally, you want that to be the quarterback who's the best player on a Super Bowl champ. But beyond that, it's not always the case. And, he was making the point, you go back to I don't know if he was cherry picking or what exactly, but, certainly that wasn't the case with New England. But New England was always Tom Brady was the best player.
Sure.
Right? Or in the early days, maybe you could make an argument that Ty Law was the best player on one of those Super Bowl champion teams, the early ones.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's that frequent. I don't know if that is an argument that holds up because you could probably spread that to a lot of different positions that you consider to be high-value positions. How often is the defensive end the best player in a Super Bowl champ?
Sure. And look off in Super Bowl champ, the best player is going to be a quarterback, right? Pretty
much.
That's just the way it works. And it's why quarterbacks go number one in the draft all the time. And when you have a draft where a quarterback isn't going number one, people are like, what's wrong with this draft? Right? That's the way people perceive drafts. When quarterbacks can't go first, people are like, it's kind of a weak draft.
Right.
This year. And this year, it's kind of a weak draft. It's thin. at the top of the draft. There's going to be probably a couple quarterbacks, and they could wind up going 1-2 when everything is said and done.
And there's
going to
be another 5 or 6 consensus players that are going to go in the next 6 picks.
Right. And one of them could be a tackle,
Offensive tackle, sure.
Like it could be that kind of thing. That's goes to the not all drafts are made the same.
You could make the case Michael Strahan maybe was the best on those Giants teams, but they also had pass rushing depth. They had waves of guys. They had Justin Tuck and Oehser Umenyiora. And so I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, when you ask, well, what's the team that won a Super Bowl whose best player was an offensive tackle? I don't know if that's the case, but it's pretty important to have one.
Like, I think it's an okay thing. It's like a thought exercise as you're getting ready to discuss the draft as much as we're going to have to. What is the value of this compared to the value of these other positions, right? From a league historical standpoint, I think that's fair, right, to have that kind of conversation. I think it all is going to come back to this draft. Like, not all drafts are created the same, and it's where the Jags are going to wind up in this draft, and could an offensive tackle wind up being the best player available to him when they draft? I think there's a real possibility.
You better have a good plan, though, man, Tone. I'm telling you. Know what I mean? Like, okay, let's hope one of these guys can play guard. Did you sign Walker Little to this contract thinking you're going to move him inside? Yeah. I don't think so. By the way, you could make the case that Penei Sewell's the best player on the Detroit Lions. Now, they haven't won a Super Bowl, right? But I think for a lot of the season, we looked at that team as the best in the league, and now injuries and attrition are seemingly starting to catch up with them. But you could definitely make that case, and maybe Aiden Hutchinson was the other one. He was for the first 5 games of the year. He was the best defensive player in the league.
We're going to be, again, digging deep in all this stuff, and we're going to talk to all the draft guys we talk to and the offensive tackles that we're going to ask about. One of the questions we're going to be asking is, do they have the flexibility to play guard? Right? Because if the Jags are going to take them in the first round, odds are they're going to need that kind of flexibility.
At least early in their career.
Right? Like that kind of thing. So that is certainly going to be a question. And I don't know, with the top couple of names, I think it's Kelvin Banks and Will Campbell, I think are considered the top 2 prospects. I don't know. I hear more of that kind of talk, I feel like, with Campbell than I do Banks, but I don't know if we just haven't gotten deep into that conversation yet and we get different answers.
Yeah, I'm looking at one mock that has Campbell going ahead of Banks. Most have Banks ahead of him, but that wasn't always the case. Like, I think if you look going into the season, a lot of people projected Campbell to be the best, but definitely a lot of people list him as like a tackle/interior player. Can be either one of those, whatever you need. Which is interesting because he's 6'6", 320. 6'6" is big for a guard, right?
Big, yeah.
It feels tall for a guard, right? But anyway,
that's why it looked weird when Walker was in there.
Because you got to bend, man. Right. You got to bend those knees. 6'6", 320, whereas Kelvin Banks, who everyone projects strictly as a tackle, is 6'4", 324. So 2 inches shorter, 4 pounds heavier. It seems like he's the stouter guy, right? But everyone says Campbell is better suited to moving inside out of the 2. I don't know. Enough to tell you. And that's what we will rely on our crack front office to determine, whomever is running that front office at the time. All right, let's get a couple of thoughts in from Doug Peterson on these young guys here. And Brian Thomas Jr., we'll start with him and the growth that he has shown this season.
No, I think Brian's grown a lot. I can remember back right after the draft when you get him in here and start working with him and just watching that development, that growth to where he is today as a receiver and one of the top young receivers in this league and obviously, a big part of our offense and just, a bright spot. It's been encouraging to see his growth and what he's capable of doing. Going back and watching him on film, coming out of LSU to today, some of the same things, some of the explosiveness and we continue each week to load his plate up, and give him more opportunities and really expand, I think, his route tree just a little bit more. Has been good, and he embraces that well.
Now, you say you continue to load his plate up.
Mm-hmm.
You mean the last couple weeks you've continued to load his plate up. He's been crushed with targets in a positive way in that time period, Tony.
There was a weird kind of hesitance to run the kind of short pass stuff that they've been willing to run to him the last 2 or 3 weeks.
I don't understand why.
Like,
We've
I don't
been
know
saying
why it
all
took
year,
that
like
long.
he's got speed. If he can catch the ball, let him catch it in motion and outrun a guy horizontally and turn the corner.
Yeah.
I guess it's been 3 games now.
Mhm.
All right. But there's a long stretch going back to the Chicago loss. They threw him the ball 6 times in that game. They threw him 5 times against New England, then 4 times against Green Bay, 4 times against Philadelphia, 3 times against Minnesota. In a game where you held the other team to 12 points, you threw it to your best player 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay? Then it started to ramp up. 7 against
3 times a
Detroit,
quarter. Yeah.
10 against Houston, 12, 14. So, yes, it's a current trend that's on the way up.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, we've been talking about it since the season started. You know, that BTJ was going to be that kind of guy. It looked like that. When he got that pass interference penalty off Jalen chasing him, it was like, oh, he's here.
Mhm.
You know, like that was that kind of moment. And then last week, when he's being asked about Sauce and going up against him in that matchup against the Jets, and he basically answered, he's got to prepare for me. Right? Like, I prepare for everything, everybody. They got to prepare for me.
Sure.
Right? That he has that attitude as we get towards the end of his rookie year is good to see. And Coach also continuing to be asked about Brian Thomas Jr. said that he could have been the number 1 option, which we've said all year. I'm interested to hear kind of the way he answers this question, as in we should have used him more, or he was prepared to do this earlier than we got to it kind of way to answer this question. But Coach answers when he's asked about thinking BTJ could have been a number 1 option for him all season long.
I think he could have. I think he could have. I really do. I think early in the season, when we had everybody, we were just finding ways to get him the ball at that point. Just plugging him in with Christian and Evan and Gabe and everybody. And but now these last couple of weeks, it's kind of been his show. And he's really done a nice job. And as the season's progressed, each week we've given him more, So, again, just been a big bright spot for us on offense.
Yet not true. As the season progressed, you didn't give him more for a large stretch, as we highlighted.
Yeah.
You started out, he got the ball thrown to him 4 times each of the first 2 weeks, and 9 in weeks 3, 9 in week 4, 8. Then it went down 6, 5, 4, 4, 3. It was you went the whole middle portion of the season almost forgetting you had this weapon. And when I hear that he could have been the number 1 guy, when everyone in the fan base has been screaming about this, the media mostly as well, to get the ball to him more consistently. Oh, no, the coaching staff knows better, right? If you say that he could have been number 1 all year long, and he obviously is the most athletically gifted pass catcher that you have, why wasn't he?
Yeah.
You're the coach.
Yeah.
What was holding you back from doing it? That's the thing that kind of like just takes me out of it with Doug Peterson. I don't understand. Yes, he could. Who has the agency to determine whether the ball's going to Doug Peterson other than the head coach, who's the offensive head coach, who basically tells the OC what he's going to do and put it into effect.
Yeah, and it leaves everyone trying to guess at why it took so long, right? Because now the coach is willing to answer that question saying, yeah, he could have handled it from
all
the beginning.
Season.
Like he's figured that out now about Brian Thomas Jr., right? Like it may have taken until 3 weeks ago for them to really he can handle whatever we throw at him. He's fine, right? Like he's not just the young guy that we have to kind of keep at a distance from some things to get him ready, like get him comfortable doing these different things we're going to ask. So it's like, now we realize basically maybe if we had asked him to do that week 1, he could have, right? Like you had whatever caution you had with Brian Thomas Jr., it may have taken 13 weeks, but you realized it was unnecessary the whole time, right?
Right.
And that's the coach basically answering it that way, and he didn't answer it directly that way, but it leaves room while we're all trying to figure out what is going on with how long it took for them to get around to what they had with BTJ. It leaves at least the space for people to be like, so it just took a while for y'all to figure out that he didn't need.
That's what it comes off
You
as.
needed no gloves?
That's what it comes off as,
Right.
right? Like things that were evident to everybody. But they're
we didn't
football
want to push him
coaches.
too far too soon. He's a rookie. We didn't want to have too much on his plate. We were worried about that kind of. That's how it comes off. And then we realized, we never needed to do that. Not with him.
Well, it's kind of like the thing, people say, well, they're coaches. They know way more than we do. Well, they should, right? But sometimes that's what makes it just head-scratching, to put it one way, that they can't figure out obvious things sometimes, right? And like people will say, well, they know more than you. You know, like you can't argue with a former player. He played in the league. Well, two guys who played in the league could have the complete opposite opinion. Only one of them is going to be right.
Yeah.
Right. So what if you agree with the one who's right? That means you were correct compared to the guy who played in the league who had the opposite opinion. You know what I mean? It's just like no one has all the answers to this, but I expect the head coach to be able to determine who his most threatening playmaker is to defenses and to feature that guy.
When it was so clear early on who it was.
And when he got that level of target early in the season and he handled it.
Yeah.
And he delivered for you, and then you forgot about him for the middle third of the season, basically.
Yeah.
In a large part. All right. Let's go to the phones here. 641-1010. John Oehser coming up at the top of the hour. Regina in Mandarin is first up today. Hello, Regina. Regina, we got you? All right, Regina's not there. I don't know what happened to Regina. All right, let's get one more from Doug Peterson then while we've got this opportunity. Brenton Strange and the bright spot that Doug Peterson feels he has been.
You know, Brenton's been a bright spot for us, somebody who we've always, as a staff, really have had a lot of confidence in. And I think, too, for Brenton, it's just a matter of getting that opportunity. And now he has it, obviously, under unfortunate circumstances. But he really has just been a bright spot. He's done everything we've asked. He's does a great job in the run game. He's physical. And then you're seeing what he can do in the pass game. You know, strong hands, ability to separate and get open, and then break tackles. And that's what you want, really, from your tight end.
So Jeff Logman said yesterday there's no chance he'd move on from Evan Ingram, Tony. There's a significant cap savings if you move on from Evan Ingram.
Yeah, they could save the 6,
next year. Look, me personally, I don't think they have enough weapons to be letting Evan Ingram go, but that cap number rises significantly next year. So it's part of the puzzle. If necessary, and we're seeing it, I guess we saw it this week, but over the course of a full season, or even, say, projecting out for the next 3 to 4 years, could you see Brenton Strange being the primary tight end on this football team?
I think he could handle it, right, whenever they want to put him in that kind of role. I think seeing Brenton Strange in the times that he's, this was his biggest game with the 11 catches on 12 targets, but I think seeing the kind of production they've gotten out of Brenton Strange when Evan Ingram hadn't been available this year, the question becomes, why aren't they using both of them? Right? And I expect that Evan Ingram is going to be back here next year. And whoever is running the offense next year, you have two tight ends that are very different as far as the kind of things they offer you, right? Like, it does feel like Strange is that more physical guy, but he is. So use him that way in the offense. Like, it's that they didn't do that all season long. It's another one of these, why not have both those guys on the field together as much as you possibly can, because Strange is a plus as kind of that sixth offensive lineman as well. He's a really good blocker. So why not have him on the field all the time?
All right, here's a timely update since we're talking about Brenton Strange here from Mia O'Brien. Doug Peterson says Brenton Strange has an AC joint sprain and will be limited in practice today, but should be good to go versus the Raiders. So, yay. Walker Little is good to go with his ankle issue. Mitch Morse and Brandon Sheriff are just dealing with wear and tear, according to Doug Peterson via Mia O'Brien. And then this from Ian Rappaport, and I'm presuming that Doug said this at his presser today, and others have this as well. He announced that Trevor Lawrence had his shoulder surgery yesterday and is now focused on his rehab. He'll make a full recovery with plenty of time for next season. Well, that's if things go the way they anticipate them going. Sure, and I hope that is exactly right. But these national guys, it always makes me wonder which press release they copy and pasted from. But
right.
Yeah. Also, Evan Ingram had surgery on Monday.
He did.
Yes. Both, and he's expected to have return in spring as well.
Well, the good thing is for Trevor to have the surgery, he's out of the concussion protocol. I didn't like the fact that lingered, and I'm glad that he's got the surgery, and now, he's way ahead of where he would be otherwise if
Mia
he had played this out.
He cleared concussion protocol on Sunday.
Okay. So just a few days ago.
Yep.
All right, well, good. Then he didn't dilly-dally. He got it done Tuesday. I guess they had it scheduled for as soon as he was clear to go. They waited one day and, probably had to make sure everything was available and ready to go. So anyway, that's what's happening with the walking wounded of the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, John Oehser coming up in hour number 2. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Lickety Split. You get same-day emergency service if you need it on your AC, because when you need help now. Like right now, like Lickety Split. Whether it's your AC, your home's plumbing, electrical, Lickety Split can handle all that, and they've got such a wide service area all in Northeast Florida, including Jacksonville, Oakley, St. Augustine, Orange Park, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra. Anywhere you can imagine under the Duval umbrella, and Lickety Split's got you covered. For quality and care, call the hair, 4.8 average on Google reviews and online at licketysplitfl.com.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Making the game last a little longer.
Join me, Hacker. And me, Leon Searcy.
And Coach Campo. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day. It's the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings.
Hacker here, coming in at 205 pounds, night and day, thanks to Awaken 180. Guys, gals, the program is simple without needing to take injections for life. The clear choice and the choice of all of us. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Why do you choose Farah and Farah? First, we have the financial resources to take on any insurance company, and our track record proves that we know how to win. Our attorneys and staff are a team, and we've worked together for decades. To us, our job is much more than just a paycheck. We love to help, and this is important. We never forget. It's not about us. It's all about you. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Every year we have gentlemen come in with the same problem. They just don't know what to buy their wife for Christmas. Well, one thing we can start off telling them is they've come to the right place, because at Underwoods it's been our business since 1928 to keep in our stores what ladies want to own. We have a professional credentialed staff that'll treat you the way you expect to be treated, and they can really help solve your problem. We have North Florida's finest collection of diamond jewelry, an extensive collection of pearls. You might be interested in seeing some of the hot new designer jewelry pieces from names like David Yurman, John Hardy, or Roberto Coin. If it's a watch you want, we carry Rolex and other watches that are considered the best. And the one thing you'll love and she'll recognize is the hand-wrapped silver package with a satin ribbon our gifts come in. So make this a Christmas to remember at Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Cannonball! Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer.
Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, contact Florida First Insurance Group on University Boulevard, an award-winning Florida Blue agency well known for providing superior service. Theo Mitchelson and his team at Florida First make the process easy and stress-free with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Contact Theo Mitchelson and the Florida First Insurance Group today and let your health be their priority. And a reminder for Florida Blue members, visit Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations in town offering primary care, walk-in services, and on-site pharmacy and mental health support. Sanitas Medical Center, Florida First Insurance Group, and Sanitas Medical Center, a winning team in Northeast Florida.
Shania Twain.
Let's go, girls.
Live in Jacksonville. Shania Twain. One incredible show. Live at Daly's Place, July 29th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. For more, visit ShaniaTwain.com.
Right out of this world.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Projax Roofing. As Florida prepares to play Tulane in the Gasparilla Bowl on Friday, Gator offensive coordinator Russ Callaway remarked on the play this season of freshman quarterback DJ Lagway.
Initially, it was like, do we need to limit the calls? With him being a true freshman, got out there, and when he had his moment, he not only excelled, he exceeded our expectations.
Florida men's basketball had a gut check in the road win over North Carolina on Tuesday evening.
Much more aggressive in the second half. I didn't think we handled it very well, clearly. I think we let them go on an 11-0 run to start the half, and that's been unlike us. We have not allowed teams to do that to us all year.
UNF men's basketball completed a home-and-home with UNC Asheville on Tuesday evening when the Ospreys defeated the Bulldogs in Asheville, North Carolina. UNF will next play the Florida men's basketball team on Saturday. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 11 o'clock, it's 73 degrees. Time at 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser.
Oh, no. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Johnny O has joined us for the second hour of the program today. Good morning, John. How are you?
Guys, how are you?
We're all right. Good. I mean,
just doing what we do, talking ball, talking Jags.
Well, we're used to this lack of relevance. Maybe not the last couple of seasons at this point in time, but in the time we've been doing the show, more often than not, we're used to where we're sitting right now, which is just an unfortunate thing because you just don't want to accept that that's the way it's always going to be, and it doesn't have to always be that way.
Yeah, I answered a question. I was today or yesterday, and just talked about sort of being weary of talking about pride and professionalism, right? I mean, that's that's what you talk about at the end of these seasons, and I kind of, as I was writing it, I thought and I wrote it. If I'm tired of it, how tired are the fans of it?
What else? Right. I think the only thing the fans want to see now is more Brian Thomas Jr. and the rest of the young players play as much as possible.
Yeah, and yes, and even that, you get tired of that being a theme.
When it's the only theme you've got.
When it's the only theme, but it's absolutely the theme, and it's fun to watch Brian Thomas Jr. It'd be more fun if they were 8-5 or 8-6. What their record would be. So, but yes. The young players, that's a cool theme, and it does give you a little bit of hope that they've got some positions that you can like.
We were just playing some comments from Doug Peterson in the last segment about Brian Thomas Jr. and how he says, we're just going to continue to give him all these opportunities, except for that whole middle third of the season. Like it was inexplicable. Why? Now, the last 4 games have been steadily coming up with his opportunities. But Doug was asked on Monday, and we just played the cut. Could Brian Thomas Jr. have been your featured wide receiver all season? He said, yeah. Then why wasn't he? I mean, who controls whether Brian Thomas Jr. gets the ball other than the coaching staff?
Yeah, I thought there were 3 or 4 games where they probably could have done more. Offense coordinator, head coach on that one. Yeah,
right. I think there are more, again, they're just going one streak here. Coming off 9, 9, and 8 targets against Indianapolis. That was early, right? And the Jags win their first game. Down to 6, down to 5, down to 4, down to 4, down to 3. They've thrown the ball 3 times in a game where your defense held Minnesota to 12 points. It's head scratching. Like why they weren't giving him 10 targets a week the whole time, or 8 targets. It doesn't have to be 10 every single week. It just seems like
he's part of the game every week.
He should have been a featured part of the game every week this season.
I know their approach is always, when you have all your guys, let the targets happen organically. Probably could have come off that a little quicker this year.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a special player, you got to treat him differently. Right?
Yeah.
You've got to come up with ways to make sure that no matter what else, this guy needs his looks. Now, it's great if you're a team that's hanging 30 and you go, hey, that's all right.
Sure,
spreading it around, for Jordan Addison has big games for the Vikings, and Justin Jefferson doesn't always have a big game. They're winning almost every single week. They've only lost twice all year. If you're getting the results, absolutely.
Sure.
Right? It makes,
when you're not, it leaves you open.
Makes perfect sense. Now, Doug Peterson also talked about, we got to get young guys more involved. We want to get longer looks at some young guys, but at the same time, we're trying to win games, so you got to play the best guys. Well, did they just determine that Ronald Darby is not one of the best guys? It seems like coincidental that now he goes from all season long.
I think that's definitely a move because you're out of it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I don't. That's my point, though. Is like there's nothing wrong. I think just saying, hey, you know what? We're going to get a longer look at some young players. Those players are going to. We're not going to put somebody out there who we don't think can compete at this level. But the only way you find that out sometimes is to give them the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, that's been the balance. I mean, that's been the balance. Monterick's played. They're going with him full time now.
Played 100% of the snaps this week.
Yeah, which was the first time. He had played most of the snaps the week before. I think Darby played 17 or 18% the week before.
It was 27, 17 snaps, though. Yeah, 27%. But that was way down. He played 81% the week before that. But Monterick had been playing, even with Darby. It was
they rotate, Mike. They rotate.
Well, not this week they didn't, right? I mean, they really didn't. They played 3 corners the whole game, and they played them almost every snap.
Right.
And now, granted, 58 snaps, you can do that.
Yeah, there's an element of that.
In the NFL.
And, yeah, I mean, rotating in the back, I never quite got, because in the back, I've always thought you play your best guys. Rotating up front, I never had any problem with.
Sure.
So,
but even that has its limits. Again, we noted the guys on the radio broadcast noted on Tony. We talked about it. First play of a drive in the second half. First play, the offense has been on the field, and you don't have Josh Hines Allen or Trayvon Walker on the field.
Yeah.
So that's never acceptable.
Or if you rotate guys on the back end, you do it because you have a specific role in mind and think this guy's better in this situation. Like, we need a bigger player because he's kind of an in-the-box safety.
Right.
That we need a little bit more of that kind of look on this. Like, that kind of thing I understand, but, I can't explain the kind of substitution stuff that they've done defensively all year.
Not up front. No, I can't.
Which younger player, obviously Brian Thomas Jr., we're going to see plenty more of, right? And Brenton Strange now, we know, is the full-time tight end. AC joint sprain, they announced this morning, but expected to play this week. So who is a young player that you would like to see get a more significant share of the opportunities now going forward?
Probably need to keep seeing Antonio to make sure you know what he is. Antonio Johnson. He struggled a little bit early, playing better late. You need to figure out if he can be a safe, obviously he's a safety, but you need to figure out if he can be a guy that you like.
Starter, a primary guy.
Because otherwise you've got a lot of acquiring to do at that position in the offseason. Jordan Jefferson and Mason Smith are the obvious. Trey Prince, Doug mentioned. Those guys are the ones that make sense to get on the field. It strikes me that you will see a lot more of Trey Prince in these last 3 games. Jordan Jefferson and Mason Smith's an interesting one because they keep sort of rotating who plays of those two. And you got to wonder in these last 3 games if you just don't see both of them on the field.
I would hope so, but we have not seen Jordan Jefferson play since week 11.
Right.
And he's only been active for 6 games. And
their approach has been sort of either Mason or Jordan.
Right.
And they've been playing Mason. I assume they'll come off that approach in the last 3 games.
They've only been active together in 1 week, which was week 6. They both played in that game. But you're right.
And that was right after Roy Roberts got traded, I think. Roy Roberts.
No, he played in week 6 as well. He got traded right after that. So they actually had Ledbetter didn't play that week. I don't know if he was banged up or what, but they had Hamilton,
probably practicing his foot.
Armstead, if you want to call him a defensive tackle, Mason Smith, Roy Robertson, Harris, Jordan Jefferson. Asese was up that week, played a good. Now, that was the peak of the rotating the defensive tackles.
Who were they playing that week? I'm drawing a blank.
Well, week 5, they played Indy, right, and won that game. So was that Chicago and London?
Okay.
I'm asking. I'm guessing that might have been Chicago and London.
That was a good one.
At that point. Not so much. You look back at that team.
Right. They haven't won since.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? So, anyway, that's, we understand they have a lot of issues, but we're trying to hone in on what they can do to make these last few weeks meaningful. I mean, it's all meaningful
that's the way.
to some degree.
If you can win a couple playing young guys, then I think winning a couple is a good thing. Meaning those young guys get some confidence. They figure out, okay, this is what it is. You like what you see from them. If you win a couple playing all your older guys, a lot of whom
who cares
aren't going to be here,
right?
It's tougher to feel great about that.
And it's clear with the opponents they're going to play here in the last 3 games. The exception being Indianapolis could still be alive, right, when they play that game, but they might be done too. By the time they kick off that game.
At the rate the AFC going,
right.
At the rate
they're
the AFC
3 games
goes,
back now of Houston. Like, they're in a really tough spot with 3 games left to play. So they could be eliminated as well by the time they play. So whatever situations they're going to be facing in game, it's not going to be that high leverage, right? Like, whatever leverage they're going to be experiencing is whatever leverage they bring into a game. And do you want to see young players play with that sense of urgency? Yes. And have success in those moments? Yes. But those are the only things left for them to build on when it comes to the last 3 games this season.
Well, and I think that was why you obviously play Monteric over Darby, because
I'm totally on board with it.
Makes perfect sense.
By the way, I feel like that's made sense for a while now, but so be it. We are where we're at. All right, let's come back. We'll roll out the question of the day once again. If the Jaguars could add a Pro Bowl level player at one of these positions, which one would you choose? This is based on the polls we ran last week, asking you what you thought the biggest needs were for this team looking ahead to the end of the year. Cornerback, defensive tackle, interior offensive line, and safety. Somebody said, hey, it's probably better if we say an all-pro player, because the Jags are not going to get the votes for the Pro Bowl, which is exactly why I said Pro Bowl level player.
Maybe he should start his own poll.
Well, we start at the beginning of the show. We said you're not always going to get the recognition. I don't care if you get the Pro Bowl. Are you playing at the level that you should have been to the Pro Bowl? That's what a Pro Bowl level player is.
Yeah.
And so
he's been a Pro Bowl level player the last couple of years.
Right. And whether he gets recognized as such or not, it doesn't matter. His impact is his impact. And it's not like, outside of Ross Matisic, and there's many guys have been making the Pro Bowl from this team regardless. Many. Yeah. Josh Hines Allen, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, we'll do that with Johnny O on the other side. We'll go around the league as well. 641-1010 if you want to get in on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Andersen Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Take your shot at a weekly tailgate combo pack valued at $100 from Southern Steer Butcher.
And monthly winners get a Corona tailgate tent with a cooler, chair, and collectible football.
It's the ultimate tailgate. Enter now at 1010XL.com.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
We're HAPPY, because Happy Honda Days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss Happy Honda Days, going on now at your local Honda dealer.
It's a sale so big, Santa wants to get in on it.
It's Beards Diamond's incredible 44th anniversary sale, held over until Christmas Eve. Everything store-wide is on sale, up to 44% off.
Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
American Electrical, Northeast Florida's highest-rated electricians, is hiring, and they're training people for careers. It's not just job training. They're giving you a license that no one can take away from you, training you for jobs that are always in demand and will offer you a peace of mind financially and for the future. And once you know a trade, you'll always be employable. All the details are at American-Electrical.com. If you're selected to be part of the Electrical Academy, you'll learn the electrical trade absolutely free of charge. American Electrical, powered by professionalism, equal opportunity employer.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
This holiday season, give your home the gift that keeps on giving. Beautiful, energy-efficient windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. With our exclusive Fibrix material, you'll enjoy windows that keep the cold out and the warmth in, perfect for those cozy nights by the fire. Limited time offer. Call today. Buy one, get one 40% off windows and doors. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
This is Corona Premier. It's the light beer you didn't know was a light beer. Until right. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now, Corona Premier, an unexpectedly light beer.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
There's still time to grab a mouth-watering holiday roast at Southern Steer Butcher in Ortega. Come for the roast and leave a hero with last-minute gift cards for the whole fam.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, this one on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. There are 22 player positions on NFL football teams. Well, if you're talking offense, defense, sure. When the draft comes around every year, the Jaguars ignore 5 of those positions. Any guess which 5 he thinks the Jags ignore?
They must be talking about offensive line.
Yes. So
they ignored it in the first round.
They didn't draft Anton Harrison in the first round?
Right. It's tiresome.
I mean, Walker Little was a second-round pick.
Right.
Never beat out anybody for a starting job. Now, I think the contract they gave him, based on all the circumstances, pretty reasonable, and he's played well. Sometimes you plug holes with free agents. Sometimes you draft guys, right? I'm not saying they shouldn't have drafted more, but to say that they never address these positions, you undercut your own argument when you ignore that.
Yeah,
just 2 first-round picks ago with an offensive tackle.
Yeah, not to that individual's liking, but it hasn't been ignored.
I had a very similar question, basically just saying that Trent never drafts linemen.
That's a shame.
And they went Trayvon and Anton Harrison back to back. But to your point, that's where we are.
All right, so this we brought up because Jeff Prosper brought this up this morning, that he thinks you should never draft an offensive tackle in the top 10 because never is an offensive tackle a Super Bowl champion's best player. Okay? You could say that about a lot of positions, I would think. That would eliminate them. But so anyway, somebody followed up and said, Dempsey, Baselli is the Jags' greatest player, and they have sucked. Not when Baselli played, they didn't.
Right.
Not at all.
He's the only Hall of Famer
He was a Hall of Famer, and they were outstanding. I mean, they were among the best in the AFC for a stretch, and then Tony had injuries and shortened his career.
Yeah, I don't understand.
They've sucked plenty since Baselli left.
Right.
Absolutely.
The Ravens
they didn't
really
suck into Baselli.
The Ravens really suffered for having drafted Ogden. What fools.
I mean,
there are tackles that have helped teams that have won Super Bowls. This is crazy, but I can understand the argument for they're never the best player on that team that wins the Super Bowl. Fine. Well, the league is what the league is. It's a quarterback league.
And that, and also how often do you recognize alignment and measure him and say he's the best guy? You can look at a wide receiver and say, well, he caught this many passes for this many yards and scored this many touchdowns. And these are, we don't have comparable stats for offensive linemen that the average NFL fan follows. Right. You've got all the advanced metric stuff and all that, but the average person on the street can't even tell you what they are or what the acronyms mean or
I'm
anything
not sure
like
the
that.
people doing the grading can tell you what they are.
I assume that they know what they're supposed to mean.
Yeah.
But point taken. So, look, by that standpoint, Jags should never draft because they've never won a championship. They've stunk a lot, right? And they've tried a bunch of stuff. Quarterback, wide receiver. They tried a bunch of different things in the first round. They've gone offensive line. They've gone running back. They've gone safety. They've gone, you name it, right? Just pick great players.
Yeah, it's I sort of get Jeff's point to a degree, but I can't quite go there in terms you should never take it there. I mean, it's
you may not have the best player playing that position, but if you don't have a good player playing that position, then good luck.
Right.
I don't know.
You better not be deficient there.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, let's get a couple calls in here, then we'll go around the rest of the National Football League. It's got to be better somewhere else, right? Maybe not in Atlanta, even though, well, it is. They're only a game out of the division lead.
Fighting,
so,
yeah.
All right. I think we got Regina back here. Regina, go ahead. You're on Jaguars Today.
Good morning, guys. Sorry about before. I had it on mute. But
it's all good.
Here's the perspective. I want a safety because I'm tired of watching all the busted plays, and the 2 blowout games are all about the long pass. The other thing is, even if we pick a Pro Bowl caliber player, what the coaches don't know what to do with them. You know, we've been all lamenting about the lack of use of BTJ and inappropriately. So I'll take you and Johnny O's comments offline.
Yeah, Regina, appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, appreciate it, and happy holidays if we don't talk to you, but we probably will. But thank you for the call. Look, that's a separate compartment, right? It just for the people who say none of it matters if they don't change the GM and or the head coach or the coach, whatever you want change. I see that constantly. Nothing matters unless, well, Trent Baalke picked Brian Thomas Jr. I think you probably think Brian Thomas Jr. matters for the future of this football team. So it matters. You may think they're not going to get the best out of them, and that may be true. But again, if we're saying Pro Bowl level player, we're talking about the performance, not the potential. Right. So in this hypothetical, you're getting a Pro Bowl level performance out of one of these positions. Which position? Now, I get it. It's a separate thing. Do you trust? So Regina's answer is safety. Okay, and I understand that, right? Big plays, and that was one of the options in the poll today. And it's a separate issue whether you trust this coaching staff to get that performance out. But that doesn't mean no matter who the coaching staff is populated
still like
with,
a Pro Bowl player.
You still want to go after that kind of talent, obviously, is the point. And granted, look, they got a lot of high-end performances out of guys in 2022, right? Including on defense. And, a lot of the same coaches are here that were here then.
Yeah.
Not on defense. Right. No, but you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
Like, I get, and again, because I feel the need to state this multiple times a day, I'm all on board with cleaning house and starting over. I really am. That's my position. I don't know if Shad Khan's going to do that. If he doesn't, I'm going to hope the guys that he retains make the good decisions.
Nothing matters.
Well, to some people, that's what they're saying, right? And I just think that, like, okay, I understand where you're coming from on that, that ultimately we're not going to get the most success, but to me, it all matters.
Sure.
Like, I'm not going to go, well, and granted, we're in a different position. We host this show, but if I'm a fan, I'm not going to go, well, till they get rid of the GM, I'm out. You can. A lot of people are doing that. I don't relate to that mentality. I want to win in spite of that guy then, or whatever. Well, if we win, it just means he's going to be here longer. Who cares if you're winning?
Right.
I can understand, too, to some degree, fans that, their experience with it is, well, if I'm going to interact about this team right now, I want my interaction to be, I want these guys fired, right? And whatever doesn't happen or does happen until that happens, I'm very nervous about what the future of the team is because of these guys being here and being a part of it. And
that's the premise.
Right. Like the best way they can express that is every time they interact with us is to say, none of it matters until these guys are gone. I think it's a really kind of flimsy way to say it, but that's kind of what I hear when I hear the fans saying it is I can't have a full-throated opinion on any of these things until this thing changes, which
I don't
none
think
of
it's
us have
that
any
complicated,
control
though.
of.
I mean, yes, you can twist your mind around to come to that, but
well, I think that's what fans do.
Give me a Pro Bowl level player.
Yeah.
Right.
Is Brian Thomas Jr. a Pro Bowl level player? I think he is. Now, will this year? Maybe not. But has he shown that he's going to be a Pro Bowl level player for this team?
Yeah. I would say
yes.
I think if the Jags were any good this year, Brian Thomas Jr. would be going to the Pro Bowl.
He might be.
Yeah.
Right? He may end up with, 1,300 yards when it's all said and done.
I think he could still make the Pro Bowl as like an alternate. Yeah.
And I don't doubt that this coaching staff didn't get the best out of him because they did hold him back in the middle third of the year, in my opinion. So I get that as well. I really do.
The wide receivers in the AFC right now that are ahead of Brian Thomas Jr. in yards, Jamar Chase, Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
That's the end of the list. Brock Bowers is a tight end. He's the only other one ahead of him in the AFC right now.
Brock Bowers will be in the Pro Bowl.
He will.
Even on a stinky team. Stinky.
Yeah.
What
and behind him is Garrett Wilson and Zay Flowers.
You tough guy.
Stinky.
Yeah.
I don't know about Zay Flowers going to the Pro Bowl, but who knows? Maybe BTJ will get more love than we think.
Yeah.
If he finishes on that hot streak. Because especially, two more touchdowns, you get to double digits. It's like, is he like fourth in the league in receiving touchdowns?
Like that. My guess would be it'd wind up being Devontae Adams. Like, it'd be a legacy guy.
Regardless, he's a Pro Bowl level player. And that's part of the conversation. Doesn't matter if he gets recognized.
Yeah. Devontae looked like a Pro Bowler Sunday.
He for a half. Didn't in the first half. That's
I know.
Football's weird, man. All right, let's get a couple in. We'll get Tony on the other side going around the league. Let's get Leo in Mandarin. Leo, go ahead.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. And just indulge me for a minute, because, Mike, you read my mind again, y'all. I tell you, you do it every time. But let me just jump back on what Jeff was saying. I agree with him to this point, because I just feel like they should have been building the offensive line all this time, right? So now when Travis Hunter pops up, because I do want him, because what do we need help at? I'd put him, he'd be a corner or safety or whatever. He's going in my secondary. Then I would pick him. And so if you already had your offensive line squared away, you can go get these difference makers. But you read my mind on this, and I'm not trying to help that man keep his job. But if I'm Trent Baalke and everybody trying to usher me out the door, that's my saving grace. I was just looking at his stats, like y'all said. And here's my question to you guys. I'm not trying to start no problems, but did his production pick up after Trevor went out? Because I'm going to say this. You look at his stats, 64 receptions for all them yards. He did get 99 targets, and I do remember a couple games where, he was frustrated because Trevor overthrew him a couple times. I know he dropped the one in the end zone, but that would be my resume. I'd put look at the company he's in on those stats, and imagine if, like you said, if he got 6 receptions a game, that's 84, right? That'd be 20 more. I can't imagine what his yards would look like with 20 more receptions. One last point I want to make. Baalke is kind of weird because you made this comment. You had a poll question earlier in the season about who would they keep. And I called you and told you they was going to keep Walker Little. But the thing I didn't say that day was it was obvious because he didn't draft Cam Robinson. He drafted Walker Little. And I knew Walker Little was going to take whatever deal he gave him. My problem is, why did you wait all season? Like, I felt like he could have you knew he was going to do that all along. So that's what drives me crazy with Baalke. But I would put my BTJ resume up. All right,
Leo, we got to jump in here because you're scattershot all over the place. I don't even know what to respond
I understand
to.
Exactly what you're saying.
Look, the question, by the way, is not would you take Travis Hunter or the best offensive lineman. What if you couldn't take Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
What if he's gone?
Yeah. You're
Jeff's
drafting
point is you shouldn't take an offensive tackle ever in the top 10. It's not versus Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
You right now are not in position probably to get Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Unless you are picking right behind
Jeff's
the quarterback.
process would eliminate offensive tackle in the first round.
Right. Yeah. It's a complete take it off the board kind of thing. Appreciate the stream of consciousness. Let's get a break because we're going to get way behind.
That was
we'll see
Jazz.
what we can fit in.
That was. He was.
I get it. There's a lot going on, but it was just like this, and this. That was what I focused in on. And in terms of the Trevor thing, I think if they had given the consistent targets, if they had made that the focal point of we're going to get him the ball like they've done. Clearly, they've come out in the last couple weeks starting at halftime of last week and said, I don't care. We're going to force the ball to Brian Thomas. If they had done that with Trevor, I think the numbers would be much better than they are.
I think
right
Trevor
now.
did it a time or two, right, during the season. That 3rd and 3 when he came back from the injury and that first third down they faced, he had a wide open guy, but he had it in his head. My guy's running the deep route here. I'm taking a shot, right? Like, that's what Trevor was thinking on that play. He got criticized for it, and rightfully so, right? But it's not because he wasn't trying to get the ball to BTJ.
All right. Appreciate the call, Lou. And we got to take time out here. We'll come back and see what we can get in on the other side, including going around the league. This is 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, contact Florida First Insurance Group on University Boulevard, an award-winning Florida Blue agency well known for providing superior service. Theo Mitchelson and his team at Florida First make the process easy and stress-free with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Contact Theo Mitchelson and the Florida First Insurance Group today and let your health be their priority. And a reminder for Florida Blue members, visit Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations in town offering primary care, walk-in services, an on-site pharmacy, and mental health support. Sanitas Medical Center. Florida First Insurance Group and Sanitas Medical Center. A winning team in Northeast Florida.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
If you're watching football this season, you know anything can happen. And on Hard Rock Bet, we mean anything. One fan in South Florida turned a $1 touchdown parlay into a $40,000 payday. Hard Rock Bet has parlays for days. With flex parlays, now you can even miss a few picks and still get paid. Parlays for every kind of play. Only on Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. When your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jax Beach.
Homemade cookies baked fresh by Jen. Original 80s band named Ice Creams by Ray. Build your own cookie ice cream sandwiches from scratch. Cookies and Cream Jax Beach. Open till 11 Friday and Saturday, 10 weekdays. Making our beach a better place. Cookies and Cream Jax Beach.
Good teachers and coaches get the most out of their Scholar Athletes. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesdays on The Franchi Show.
Hey, Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans. Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you to all the members and contractors for their continued support and partnership. Together, they've helped build a stronger foundation for Jacksonville since 1901. Enjoy spending time with your friends and families this holiday season. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Local 234, make the right connection. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Hey, Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more, and please drink responsibly.
When mice and rats show up in your space, they can be a real pain.
You need them out fast before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents, and they'll keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so do we. Don't live with a rodent problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
On Sunday against the Raiders, the Jaguars will be reunited with former first-round pick Kayvon Chaisson. Brian Sexton of Jaguars.com on how he remembers the former Jags first-round pick.
One of the all-time worst first-round picks in Jaguars history, and there have been a lot of them. But this is the guy that the Jaguars took instead of taking Justin Jefferson. And I still think, how in the world in the 2020 draft room can you say, look, in 2021, we're taking a quarterback no matter what? So how are we doing this? I mean, how are we taking this pass rusher? Yeah, I'll always remember Kayvon Chaisson as not being Justin Jefferson.
With your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update, I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, kind of final 11 minutes here on the program today. Helmets and Heels coming up. Lauren told me they're taking off for Vegas tonight is when they're traveling. They'll be off tomorrow and live in Las Vegas on Friday at the Circa Resort. And I'm sure if you're planning on going, you've already got your plans, I would assume, all locked in. Although somebody did hit me up yesterday and asked me, where's that link for the Vegas trip? I'm like, you mean boldcitybrigade.org? Maybe. I mean, I guess that's what they meant. So that's where I directed them. You know, I don't have a specific link. They probably do on there, but I'm sure. So, if you got that kind of flexibility in your life that you can do that on a short turnaround. I mean, look, you can fly to Vegas on Friday after work and come back. I guess Monday you'd have to have at least one day off. That's a late afternoon kick.
Vegas, baby.
Might be able to do the red eye. Are you a Vegas guy? Have you been?
No, I've never been to Vegas.
Never?
Never.
So
this will be one of...
What are you planning on doing when you have some free time on Saturday night in Vegas?
Eating and going back to the hotel. We can't. I mean, as an NFL employee, you can't.
I can't go to a show? If I want to go to the strip club?
I'm not going to go to a show on a Saturday night.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's Vegas. It's what you do. A lot of
do
people
they not
go
have
to
hotel
Vegas.
Bars in Vegas?
Sure.
Okay, that's fine then.
Okay. I mean...
Yeah.
All right. You act like normal, football-loving people don't go to shows in Vegas. I think a lot of them probably will be going to shows in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Not my bag.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Let's see what the rest of the NFL is up to.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach.
The Tennessee Titans are benching quarterback Will Levis. They'll start Mason Rudolph this week. The Atlanta Falcons are benching Kirk Cousins and going with rookie quarterback Michael Penix Jr. this week. Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes was a full participant in practice on Monday. Head coach Andy Reid said that if he's able to play through the high ankle sprain he suffered over the weekend, that he will play this week. Wide receiver Marquise Brown has the chance to play for the first time this season for the Chiefs. Green Bay head coach Matt LaFleur said yesterday that quarterback Jordan Love will be fine for this week for the Packers, despite him noticeably limping off the field on Sunday night. New Orleans quarterback Derek Carr reportedly very unlikely to play the rest of this season after a recent examination on his injured non-throwing hand, according to Ian Rappaport. Detroit defensive end Aiden Hutchinson said this week, while on with Taylor Lautner on the squeeze, that he is on track to potentially return for the Super Bowl if the Lions are able to advance that far into the playoffs. And the NFL announced the schedule for Week 17, their Saturday triple header yesterday. The LA Chargers at New England at 1 o'clock, Denver at Cincinnati at 4:30, Arizona at the LA Rams at 8 o'clock, and Washington versus Atlanta that week has been flexed to Sunday Night Football.
Old Michael Penix action right there.
Yes, sir.
You got that going for you. And here in Jacksonville, Your starting quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, underwent surgery yesterday. It was announced this morning. So that means he cleared the concussion protocol. That was said that he did that on Sunday. Got the surgery done. Let's hope for a quick rehab and get right back out there as early as possible in the offseason for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, all you can do is move forward if you're Trevor Lawrence at this point in time. Not ideal, obviously. All right, let's get to today's 10-10 take, Dylan.
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take, brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right, here's today's poll question. This was based on a couple of polls we ran last week, asking you what you feel the biggest needs will be on offense and defense at the end of the season. So we had to combine the interior offensive line, center, and guard to make sure we got safety in the mix, because they all get about the same amount of votes. And so we said if the Jaguars could add a Pro Bowl level player at one of these positions, which one would you choose? Is it corner, defensive tackle, interior offensive line, or safety? Right now, defensive tackle winning the poll rather easily. John, how would you answer it?
I'd go defensive tackle.
You would?
I'm tired of giving up too much in the run game and just not enough disruption up front overall. And I think that they have to be stouter. You can't be constantly leaky there and worried about it. And if you have a disruptor there, it disrupts everything offensively.
Okay.
So that's how I'm leaning lately.
I got you. Look, 45% of the vote go in that direction. That's the most of any of these spots, so you're not out on a limb, certainly. Tony, what about you?
I would vote interior offensive line. I defensive tackle, I was thinking through, how to answer this question, and I look at if they got a Pro Bowl level defensive tackle, I think they already have two guys on that line that are Pro Bowl caliber type players with Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, and that would unlock some things, obviously. Like they could potentially have three, Pro Bowlers on that defensive line if they went that way. But it does feel to me like they just need to get to something slightly above average on the interior to unlock what they have potentially on the outside on that defensive line. For me, I think given the value of Trevor Lawrence and them trying to get any kind of run game going, adding somebody on the inside to that offensive line that could change the attitude of it too. Like maybe you change your mentality with it and you get somebody who is a brawler somewhere there on the inside of the offensive line. I think that could have a huge impact for them.
I would vote corner. And because to me, I'm trying not to be a prisoner of the moment. I'm not trying to insult anybody else. I get it. You got to play next year.
Yeah.
And this is, you factor in what you have on this team. But I think Monteric Brown's a nice young player, and he's worthwhile of being on your 53-man roster. But when you're talking about premium positions in the NFL, and maybe defensive tackle is becoming more of that, usually you talk about quarterback and the left tackle, the primary, blindside protector, defensive end and corner, the guys that are trying to thwart the quarterback. And I think that has more staying power. I think there are probably a lot of teams that have good, but not necessarily Pro Bowl level defensive tackles, that if you've got a lockdown corner, if you had a true, like if you had Pat Surtain and Tyson Campbell, and Tyson Campbell was your second, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it unlocks things for Tyson.
So for, look, they need them all, right? Nobody's saying that they can't, that, by the way, we're going to draft one position in the top 10 and we're done. Right? They are going to sign some free agents, maybe not as robustly as they have in the past. We'll find out.
Right.
And they're going to draft a bunch of players. They're going to have a bunch of picks in this draft, so they're in position to move around. Defensive tackle getting 45%, interior offensive line getting 28.7%, so call it 29%, 18.3% going corner, and 8% going safety, which, quite frankly, might be the biggest actual need of just about anything on here. Like, they might not have a starting caliber safety on this team opposite Darnell Savage if you consider Savage a starting caliber safety.
Yeah, I'd say Darnell's starting caliber. I'd say the others haven't shown that.
Right? They might have an answer at right guard in Cooper Hodges if he stays healthy.
Sure.
Right? They've got Mitch Morse, looks for another season. I'm not saying they shouldn't look to beef that up. No one's saying stand pat with anything. Just a question of if you could just wave the magic wand and that guy is Pro Bowl caliber, where do you plug him in?
Yeah, I would have
for
gone
the biggest impact.
Tackle, corner, offensive line and safety. But with the note that I wouldn't mind a Pro Bowl guy at any of them.
Right. If you had Kyle Hamilton,
sure,
right?
yeah,
You would take that guy at safety all day long.
And the question doesn't specify when. It's just adding one of these guys to the roster. Right?
Yeah.
Like it could be a free agent. It could be,
maybe
third
get him
round
in
of
the
the
third
draft.
round. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Which is more likely if you're going interior offensive line to get that kind of level player at that point in the draft. It doesn't have to be the first round.
Well, I hope if you do draft Will Campbell out of LSU with the eye towards moving him inside, that he is a Pro Bowl level player, right? I hope they're in position. That's the thing, too. Like, again, it's not a Travis Hunter versus question. Until we know where the Jags actually pick, it's hard to know if they'll have any chance to get Travis Hunter. It's hard to know what Travis Hunter opinions will be throughout the draft process. Is he, is it worth taking a guy who, weighs that much or that little, with your top 3 overall pick, when these big body types are rare. These are conversations we had. I'm not saying he's not different. He is, obviously. The fact that he could play, we looked at it, John, the other day. Charles Woodson, during the year he won the Heisman, right? Playing both ways.
Minimal at receiver.
How many catches?
18?
11.
Yeah.
And 11 catches on offense. He was a two-way guy with the air quotes. Travis Hunter's a two-way guy.
Yeah.
Or at least he is now.
He's a real two-way guy.
I can't wait to see how somebody utilizes him.
Woodson
in the
also
National
returned
Football
punts, right?
Woodson did.
Right?
He returned, I looked, 33 punts, so about 2 a game. So, right, but that's when
it
was more about he was a defensive and offensive player, a two-way player. He was sprinkled in on offense. And he's a great player, Hall of Famer. Charles Woodson's outstanding. I hope we can draft a Charles Woodson level player. That would be phenomenal at any position.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
Right? I mean, that would be great. But I'm just saying, Travis Hunter, game's changing, man. Athletes are changing. Things that people like Shohei Ohtani, you can't let a pitcher hit.
All right.
What was the argument for that, by
he's
the way?
the best batter
What
in
was the
baseball.
argument for that? It's too exhausting?
I guess.
To swing the bat 4 times a game? Or I don't know, man.
It's more like you can't let that hitter pitch, right? I think that's more the direction that argument goes, but because they put themselves more at risk, I guess.
I don't know.
Physically pitching than they do batting.
Yeah, your arm does a lot of stress, as we saw.
But he also
Shohei
steals
didn't
bases
pitch this
like
year.
he does that. Shohei is a freak.
Right, but you got to let a freak be a freak.
Yeah.
Right? So don't draft a freak just to
and tell him not to
make
be
him
that.
a basic guy, And that doesn't mean Travis Hunter is ever going to play full-time both ways in the NFL. I don't think he will.
No, it'd be cool if someone let him try, though.
But how much, how much, is he some team's third receiver?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Third receiver plays a lot.
They do.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Maybe it'll be here. Who knows? And, yes, you've got to get the right support for him to put him in the best position to win. Interior offensive line will impact the game the least on the text line. The absolute best Hall of Fame players on the O-line could never win you a Super Bowl. They never impact the game as much. Maybe not.
Don't vote that way.
Right. And that's fine. That's your opinion. And I get it. That's why I went with corner, because they do impact the game a ton. Defensive tackle impacts the game a ton as well. They all do.
They all affect a bunch of other positions.
Right?
Right?
I do agree with the point that you can, like, if you've got a couple of good tackles, you can get away with maybe some league average guards.
Sure,
you don't have to be
able
great
to,
at guard.
Got to be good at center and the tackles. You can get by with guards.
All right, but center's part of that interior offensive line package. It's not just talking about drafting a guard here, If you had Creed Humphrey, what is his worth to Patrick Mahomes in that offense?
For sure.
Probably a lot. All right, Johnny O, where are we going to catch you?
I should have hoping to have Mac Jones on the Ozone podcast. That'll be fun. He's a fun guy to talk to. And Bucky Brooks on the Huddle Up podcast.
All right. And then
same as it ever was.
Talk to you from Vegas after you've had a couple of drinks at the hotel bar. Or a drink. Or maybe you're just sitting there watching.
Maybe let's have some Gatorade and watch.
Maybe you will. I don't know what your beverage of
College
choice
football playoff,
Yeah.
Yes, the college football playoff starts
and the
this
NFL
weekend.
has a
Can't wait for what
doubleheader.
I'm told.
Yeah.
So, but don't bet on it when you're in Vegas.
Oh, and I bet on it.
I know you won't. All right, that'll do it for us. For John Oehser, for Tony Smith, and for Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Breakfast bowl tomorrow. Yeah, I'm buying. I was miserable this week. That's coming up tomorrow with D-Rock in studio here with us. Helmets and Heels is next on 10.